Hello and welcome to what's going to be a weird kind of thing for me here. I had never ever heard of this particular thing. I watch the videos of another YouTuber who goes by the screen name Northernlion. I do suggest you check out his stuff because it is a lot better than mine. He started playing this the other day, and I was strangely compelled to watch. Now that may be his particular repertoire of jokes and or personality or whatever else. The reason I watched him, I mean, he also put me onto XCOM and possibly some other bits and pieces, and maybe even convinced me to give YouTube videos a go. So go check out his channel anyway. But Geoguessr, it's basically a website browser thing. You can go to it. It's geoguessr.com. And you can play the same sort of games as I'm about to do. Basically, what happens is it uses Google Maps to plant you somewhere in the world, anywhere in the world, and then you move around the map and guess where you are. Now, obviously, if it dumps you somewhere very very famous, in front of the Empire State Building or somewhere like that, then you are going to get it relatively easy. But from what I've seen of Northernlion's playthroughs, that does not happen. So we are going to play here, and we are thrown into here. Now, as I say, the controls are very much the same as Google Maps, because it is Google Maps. And the concept is that you'd have to find out where you are. Looking at the lay around and whatever else, I've never been, but I am going to go with somewhere maybe like Australia. I mean, this game for a YouTube video player could very well be a good way to embarrass yourself or make yourself look entirely ignorant at the very best to other people's cultures and or lands they live in. It looks like that sign is facing the other way, so one would assume we are driving on the left hand side of the road. So we should probably go this way, which would indicate probably the United Kingdom, Australia, I think maybe Hong Kong. A few places do drive on the left hand side of the road, but not a great deal of countries. Certainly not the larger places like America, where this sort of layout would be. So I'm going to guess at Australia. Somewhere at the very least in Australia. Let's just march along here. Jesus. It's a big old road with no markings on it. One would hope that you knew where you were going down this road. I mean, it is pretty straight, so if you're on it, hopefully you know where you're going. But I mean, here, like, maybe that's a driveway or something. Someone lives here, but there's no road signs whatsoever. So used to road signs. We're definitely driving on the left. Whether you can call a vehicle a kind of contextual clue as to where you are. American vehicles, British vehicles, European vehicles do generally differ ever so slightly, even though obviously you can find American vehicles in every country and you can find European vehicles in every country. There is a predominance to them generally. Now, Australia is a big mass of land, so we could be anywhere within it. The idea of the game... okay, well, a bus comes down here by the looks of it. The idea of the game is to get as close to the location that you are in as you can with your guess. It's not just guessing the country. I can't just stamp Australia and say, yes, I'm in Australia. The idea is that I'd say, oh, I'm in Sydney, Australia, or I'm in Perth, or wherever other big Australian places might be. This seems more like a place where Outback Jack might live. No offence to Australia or all the Outback. Nice shiny white car there. People do travel this route, obviously. We're not out here alone. There's the Google car. I mean, I don't know. Come on. I don't really know how much more of this we can really do. And it kind of looks like I've been reset back to the beginning where I was earlier. It very much looks like that, which is a bit weird. Click on the screen, yeah, there's that same vehicle. We were reset back to where we were. So basically, what I want to do is find Australia. Now you really should be far more accurate than what I'm going to be, but I'm going to basically just say we are there, we're going to take a guess. And, you know, we were 977.4 miles away from the correct location. Didn't get a massive amount of points, but within the context of Australia, that's actually not that bad. So we will continue on here, see where we get dumped this time round. Looking at the foliage and the trees and whatever else, I would arguably... Look, it's a car with a giant dildo on top of it. I would arguably say this was America. Again, I can't tell which direction we're actually going in on this road, whether it's a left-hand road or a right-hand road. They drive on the right-hand side of the road, so we're going the wrong direction, technically speaking. No, off of there. So Georgeville. Now Georgeville could be anywhere in America, I would assume. Might need more than that, and I'm saying America. I was fairly confident when we landed. Ooh, interesting. That we were indeed in America. But we need a bigger road sign or a bigger clue as to where in America, because, you know, America is like 1/3 of the world's land mass or something stupid. Driving along with my giant dildo on top of my car, as you do. If there's any signs that we live in a patriarchal society, it is the fact that we've made the Google car have a giant penis on top of it. Again, just as a kind of a clue, there is an American flag, so I was right with the Americas or the United States of America or whatever it could be known as. However, even though we've confirmed that information for ourselves, that doesn't mean that we know where we are. I mean, there's a lot of prairie land and trees. One would assume we're not in New York necessarily. I'd arguably say somewhere like Virginia. And those, if anyone is watching this from America or from Australia or anywhere else in the world, uh, you need to know right now that I'm not racist. I'm not against any part of the world. Uh, I don't mean to state any offence when making comments about guessing where I am, or about the area in general, or anything else, like the state of the roads. I mean, this is a terrible looking road. Um, I'm not, demeaning your people or your race or your culture or anything else. Simply stating that there is a car with a giant penis on its roof driving down your roads. Um, I mean, you know, we are in the middle of nowhere, it would seem, at the very least. I am just going to randomly press the forward button on my keyboard here. Crash along. I mean, it's lovely scenery for the drive. If we had some uh, background music, then it'd be like a nice country drive. Now I've got to say, the fact that we are sat here viewing one picture after one picture after one picture of pretty much the same trees, and there doesn't appear to be any signs or obvious landmarks or anything of any real value. Um, I mean, if this truck had on the side of it, Pittsburgh Oil Company, then I'd know we're in Pittsburgh, but it's completely and utterly blank. Now, if you've ever studied media, I just want to leave the truck on the screen there for a second here. Just remember that truck. If you've ever studied media, we had a media studies teacher. She was just straight out of university, pretty much, and came into our classroom and said, we watched a number of films, and she said that the reason they used a shiny truck like that, the one you just saw in Thelma and Louise, was because when they stopped at the traffic lights, they saw themselves in the reflection. It was very much a mirror, and it was all about them being women, them being beautiful women, about their sexuality. It was all about gender, blah 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 blah. Now, the reason I disliked her particular class and the media studies course was because for me, it seemed more like those are the trucks that drive around the roads. They are going to be on the road. If you stuck a giant pink truck on the road, that would seem out of place. I think it wouldn't make any sense. But you do have shiny tankers driving along the road. That's just the way it is. Um, the fact that it serves as a mirror or whatever else, arguable, possibly, if you really want to look for, notes of sexism within the use of petrol trucks, or usually they're petroleum trucks, don't have to be, some sort of chemical carrying truck, then yeah, go ahead. But it seemed like a stretch for me that the director had purposely stuck it in there to talk about gender. He may have used it as a mirror, and because obviously the curved surface distorted their faces, and maybe Thelma and Louise had, as characters, been distorted. Um, but anyway, I just thought it was an interesting thing, seeing that there was a shiny truck just going down the road. Um, I probably should say that whether she was right or wrong about the gender equality issue that was being mentioned in Film Release, I have no idea. But she did stick on a VHS, and some of you watching this may not even know what a VHS is. But she stuck on a VHS of Apocalypse Now, and she spent half an hour of an hour-long lesson, or course, or whatever you want to call them, lecture, blah blah blah, explaining why the film was in black and white, even though at least two other students, other than myself, had seen the film and had watched it in colour. She was adamant that it was shot in black and white for a reason, and she went into all this deep and wonderful meaning about what black and white symbolised and everything else. And, quite frankly, when she came in the next lesson or tutor group or whatever you want to call them, she didn't mention the black and white ever again, because the VHS played in colour, just as we all knew it would if the VHS player was set up properly. So I lost my love for media studies, and for the kind of made-up job people have made for themselves of trying to prove there's something in media more than there is. Some directors, sure, they may well have artistic elements in the film, they may have purposely done something, symbology, blah 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 blah, and some people just may want to make an entertaining film where dudes get punched in the face. It can't all be art. And I also studied art and design, and yeah, I lost my love for that as well, the critical kind of nature of art when they're talking about, the passion in brushstrokes and the nature of all that kind of crap. When I painted a picture or drew a picture, it was because I thought it looked cool, or I thought someone else might find it interesting, or thought someone else might like it. It might be a picture of like a fairy, and I knew that my, then girlfriend liked fairies or whatever else. It's for me, it was more about audiences than it was about sending a message subtly. If I wanted a message there, it was there. It was non-subtle. Right, does this truck have any information on it that we could use to determine where we are? No, it's just a big blurry mess. Okay. No, I don't think we're out in the middle of the ocean. That might be a bit far away. This is not where we want to be on the map at all. Okay, we are pretty much just going to stick a pin in the map, really. Because I have no idea, but I said Virginia originally. I'm going to stick a stamp in there, nowhere in particular. And good God, we were the complete opposite side of the map of America there, near Portland. Well, there you go. Now you know what Portland may or may not look like. For me, there was nothing there to tell me this. Okay, so we pop into our next map. Yeah, if you're actually gonna do anything. I apologise, there seems to be something of a breakdown. Okay, it does still work, it's just being weird. Ignorance of flags. If that is your homeland flag and you're proud of it, then I apologise for not knowing exactly what it is. I used to know flags really, really well. That one is not screaming out to me as anything in particular. It is a European country. I would guess. So we're going the wrong way. Really? Okay, blurring out the name of roads, and apparently I can't actually go any further in this direction as well, so I can't actually see what blurred out then looks like. So that's mildly irritating. At least we can drive on the right side of the road. I'm gonna go with Denmark. It's a sign. Five, 7, 9. I'm sure it's the right flag. Can we see the roads though? Or indeed the place? What is Skiv? So it is in Norway, as I thought it might be. That roundabout goes towards Skiv though, so we must be a little way away from it. The other place is Hobro. Well, there's Viborg, which is straight up from us. Skiv is to the left of us. Can't actually see Hobro in the slightest. I can't even see the road. Oh my word. That they're talking about to get to either of those places. Oh, that's 579, there you go. Is that where it ends? It ends in Skiv. there's Hobro. So we would be somewhere between the two. 533 goes straight on. So let's pick there. Make our guess. Well, 414.9 yards from the correct location. Can't really argue with that. We were not far at all from where we were coming up to that roundabout rather than actually on the roundabout. So, I couldn't have got that any closer, I don't think. It's not bad at all. Let's go the other way then. Don't really know the language. Gonna guess. No, I'm not gonna guess. Because that might be the worst thing to do. Try and guess at the language. They have magical trucks that just disappear though, which is quite unnerving. Let's try and crash on here. I think I spent a lot of time in not Virginia. It was on the west coast rather than the east. Come on. Basically, I think that Norway placing very much saved my score here. My score is 7,286 points. I think you can get 5,000 per round, I think, is the top score. So obviously you can get 25,000 points for a perfect round. And again, the magical disappearing truck. I don't know if that's the name of a company or whether that's an actual thing that we're in Hamburg or Hamburg South. I mean, I think that sign did have umlauts in it, so it could well be somewhere like Germany. I've never really travelled through much of Germany in my time. Wouldn't know if this is what Germany looks like. Oh, Google car and this guy overtaking the truck. And that guy doesn't look particularly happy about the whole situation, although he's got something of a flat tyre by the looks of it. Oh, he swerved a bit, didn't he? Google car got you going down the road in a drunken fashion. Still swerving, it would seem. Magical trucks again. Doesn't have a trailer or anything useful. It's a Mercedes-Benz. I mean, it's not like that means anything. Mercedes don't only operate in Germany. I mean, even if we do end up being in Germany, which I think we will be. The issue is that we could be anywhere in Germany at this point in our lives. It just doesn't scream Germany to me. Especially with a name like that. Seems more like South America. Could that have been Spanish? Or Portuguese? So you can really show your ignorance playing this game to the world. I unfortunately haven't got round to learning every single language there is on the planet. And the fact that these cars and trucks keep disappearing really is quite misfortunate. Looks like some sort of storm brewing. Ugh! I need that goddamn truck. I need to see what it says on the side of the fucking truck. I guess maybe some of the pictures. There's nothing on the side of the truck anyway. Were lost in the post, and they had to go and redo them because the weather seems better on some days than others. I don't know how much further we can really go here. We seem to be in the real back end of nowhere. And again, I don't mean any offence to you if you happen to know exactly where we are and you live here. Saying you live in the back end of nowhere might be mildly offensive. Possibly. Did we not just pass this field? Did I get reset? Does that... Come on, go back. Go back. Does that truck help us? No, because it disappears magically. This could be a total and utter stab in the dark. I mean, shit just keeps disappearing off the roads. And it's very, very rural out here. No overtaking. I don't know. I just don't know. There seems to be lots of trucks moving around. We could be in Spain or Portugal or somewhere like that. I expect Spain to be a little more arid than this, maybe, but again, if I spoke another language, that may really, really help me know where I am, or at least what the language of the country was, but unfortunately I don't recognise that word in any way, shape or form. Google car and dude overtaking yet again. Now they have blurred that out. Not sure if that's because it's company logo that they're not allowed to use. I mean, there is nothing here to help me work out where in the hell we are. That's not to say we're in hell. That's not at all to say we're in hell. If you happen to live out here in this beautiful rural part of the world, wherever this rural part of the world is, then good for you. It looks lovely. See, it kind of reminds me of so many European languages. I'm gonna go. Oh no, South America. But I'm gonna go Mexico randomly there. Don't have enough time to worry about it. Well, it was South America, but was in Brazil, which was my next choice. Was Brazil. We're gonna have a poor scoring game here. Probably not even a third of what we could possibly get. Oh, we've got 3 directions. This looks like it might have more information on signs. Again, a European country. Come on, map. Just doing a little bit of scouting of France. Because I think that's where we're going to end up being. Are there actual road numbers? 59. Probably going to have to go in way closer than I wanted to find 59. Okay, let's travel on. Is that it? I can't actually go in that direction. Again, not confident enough with my languages to really guess what that says or where we are. Again, blurring all the signs. Not that useful. Maybe if someone's hanging a flag up outside their window. let's go down here. No idea why particularly. I mean, if you're good with architecture, you could probably look at these buildings and say, oh yeah, they're Normandy, or they're, 17th century Spanish bricks. I found some interesting graffiti nonetheless. Blurred the bird's wing out. Must be offensive. Kind of going down into a dirt track here. Hoping for some sort of sign or helpful hint. Nope. Not a clue. This video seems to have been going on a fair while. I am going to say we are here. Oh, not that far away in the end. So there you go. We have hit our sort of end of, and there you go. Those were the places. We were quite out with a number of them, not so bad with others. As I say, we weren't. It ended up not too bad. Almost halfway through. So, hopefully you enjoyed seeing parts of the world and seeing me guess at them. If you did, then I encourage you to come back and view some other videos. Hopefully I'll see you then. Bye!